Each time the young woman perishes, she is reincarnated on the day her engagement is terminated. Regardless of the path she takes, her life will come to an end after 5 years, and after 7 rebirths, she is exhausted and decides to stop resisting. This time around, she aims to live a tranquil life. Reese disregards the prince's insults, turns her back on him and departs. In her past 6 lives, she always exited through the main door, so in this life, Reese decides to take a different route. However, unexpectedly, she bumps into Emperor Arnold, who was responsible for her demise in her previous life, as she turns the corner. Reese is taken aback and involuntarily calls out Arnold's name. Arnold is puzzled, as it's his first visit to this country. How could this girl recognize him? Reese quickly composes herself and introduces herself, explaining that although it's their first meeting, she has heard many tales about Arnold, which enabled her to identify him. Reese believes she has managed to convince Arnold, but he questions her, asking why she referred to him as the Emperor when his father is still alive and he is merely the Crown Prince. Reese, at a loss for words, insists it was a slip of the tongue due to her anxiety. She explains that her engagement has just been called off and she doesn't have time to linger. After finishing her explanation, she heads towards the balcony and, with a swift movement, leaps off it, leaving Arnold in shock. This is the first time he has encountered such an intriguing woman. He immediately instructs his men to ready the horses as he wishes to find out what kind of gem Reese is. Reese heads home to gather her personal funds. As long as she has initial capital, she can lead a carefree life using the knowledge she has acquired in her previous 6 lives. In her first life, she journeyed around the world with traders, got caught up in a war, and died in the 5th year. In her second life, she learned about medicinal herbs with the aim of saving the world, but again got entangled in a war and died in the 5th year. In her subsequent lives, Reese acquired every possible profession, but no matter where she fled to, she would die in the 5th year. This is because Emperor Arnold would start a war in that year, and every conflict would invariably affect Reese. After some time, Reese laments her physical weakness and decides she needs to continue her training. She notices that the prince has been waiting outside her house for a while. The prince is disgruntled about Reese's earlier escape. He had rehearsed his speech about ending their engagement and listing her wrongdoings. He had planned to humiliate Reese publicly for 5 days, but Reese, after 7 lives, has become immune to his words. The prince is left flabbergasted, and it appears more like Reese has rejected the prince rather than the other way around. The prince is enraged, and unable to tolerate the surrounding gossip. At this point, a girl named Marie steps forward to defend the prince, asking Reese not to harm her beloved prince. The prince quickly recovers his composure and seizes the opportunity to accuse Reese of bullying Marie and having a cruel heart. However, Reese remains calm in the face of these accusations. She promises to abide by the terms of their divorce and to never cross paths with the prince again. The prince didn't anticipate Reese's calm reaction, but her subsequent words shatter the prince's defenses even more. The prince is immediately incensed and collapses. Marie attempts to speak harshly to Reese, but to no avail. Instead, she receives a lecture from Reese and is deeply affected. Having said her piece, Reese doesn't give it another thought and walks away. She is eager to start her blissful life as soon as possible, but before she gets far, Reese senses a familiar danger approaching. As memories of her previous life flood back, Reese instantly seizes the sword from the man sneaking up behind her and strikes. Unexpectedly, the man is also a skilled fighter and manages to block her attack. Arnold is intrigued and wants to know where Reese acquired her sword skills. Reese insists it's a secret and refuses to answer. The prince is perturbed by Arnold's presence, and Reese warns him to choose his words carefully as Arnold is the crown prince of the Gargan Empire. The prince is terrified upon hearing this. Is this the notorious crown prince who single-handedly wiped out a knight group? Noticing that the people behind her have fallen silent, Reese turns her attention to Arnold, wanting to know why he sought her out. However, Arnold's response leaves Reese completely stunned.